For the Glory is proudly powered by Mullaney Dairies. Hello and welcome back to another episode of For the Glory, an athlete empowerment production series brought to you by the Wattle Nest. My name is Rachel Condos Fields and I'm super excited to introduce you to some of Australia's great sporting talent as we share their stories, celebrate their success and embrace the power of sport as a true connector within our community. Joining me again today at the studio desk is Australian track and field athlete and our For the Glory co-host Nana Awasu. Welcome back, Nana, and how are you?
Hey Rachel, thank you for having me today. We have a dear friend of mine on the show today, so I'm very excited to speak to her.
And we're hoping she spills the beans and tells us a bit of gossip around Nana, because we can't seem to get much out of your friends. You've obviously got some photos or something. But welcome to the studio today, our Australian national champion, 1500 metre track and field athlete and Commonwealth Games bronze medalist, Abbey Caldwell. Welcome, Abbey.
Hello, thank you for having me on, guys.
No, thanks for coming in, Abbey. I've had the privilege of being on a junior team with you. Can you talk to us about your progression from being a junior athlete to a senior athlete?
Yeah, it kind of goes back a long way. I started athletics from a young age, but World Juniors with Nana was my first international team, and it was a really good experience, and it kind of just enlightened me to the potential there is in sport and how exciting and how much fun we can have. And yeah, I think going through that World Juniors team really gave me that hunger to really want to pursue athletics to as far as I can take it. And yeah, it's kind of just been a steady, I guess, gradual up from there and just ticking boxes slowly along the way.
Rachel told us before that you won the bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games last year. Congratulations. Can you tell us what was going through your head when you were about to cross that line and you knew the medal was right there in front of you?
Yeah, it was a bit of a surreal experience. I guess in the moment of the race, you don't realise that you're crossing that line in third, but it's that instant afterwards. It's like, wow, that's really just come to fruition. And like, it is a very surreal moment. It doesn't quite sink in. But yeah, you kind of just get hit with those endorphins and yeah, it's really, really special. It was a very nice moment to experience.
So Abbey, as Nana said, bronze medal at the Commonwealth Games, Australian national champion. I understand that there's no doubt a lot of barriers and setbacks that you've had to overcome to get to that level. Can you talk us a little bit about some of those?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as athletes, we obviously go through a lot of physical challenges and demands on our body trying to get there, but just as much as a lot of emotional, mental struggles that we go through, and I think that's why it makes it special to get to these points. But yeah, I guess as athletes, financially, things it becomes a big problem, and for a lot of people trying to pursue and trying to get to that next level of bridging the gap between the next elite level can be really challenging. And I know for me, for example, I've relied on my family a lot and they've had to support me through all my juniors, and even now as a 20-year-old I'm still getting that support from my family. And yeah, it can be a struggle, but I guess that's the challenges that we're facing, and yeah, you kind of just take it as it comes and cross those bridges when they come, when you need to sort yourself out.
The sacrifice is very real.
We keep mentioning bronze medal, winning national champs, and recently you've just won the 2K at the National Trials for World Cross Country that are actually being held in Bathurst. Talk us through how it is to represent your country in your own country.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. I think to be able to run on home soil at a world event is one thing. Putting on the green and gold is always a huge honour, and to be able to do it in a team event is really, really exciting. I'm really looking forward to it, having friends and family around, an opportunity that we don't often get. So yeah, it's going to be really exciting.
So you're in the relay at World Cross. If you could have your dream order, what would it be?
I've been trying to think about this. For me, I'd like to be in the middle somewhere. I don't want to be the person to break the ice of the event and have to take it out. But yeah, I'd say I'd be happy with a second or third position.
We'll make sure we get the word out.
We talked a little bit about some of those financial struggles and the other setbacks that you might have to overcome. time management is obviously something that's also really crucial, because as I understand, not only are you training and competing and travelling, you're also studying, is that right?
Yes, correct. So between there, I'm fitting in some studying a Bachelor of Health Science. So yeah, I mean, it is very much a nice outlet to have away from sport and to be able to do that. But yeah, it does make time management that little bit extra hard and throwing that in. And for me, I've sacrificed working part-time so I'm able to study and be able to pursue sport. So yeah, a lot goes into it, but...
And what's your advice for some of those younger emerging athletes that are really struggling and they're a bit overwhelmed with the whole work-life study balance? What's some advice you can give to them?
I think it's just look at the positives. Like we put ourselves in those positions because we want to be there. We love our sport and we want to take it places. And for me, I know I love studying just as much and it means just as much to me. So as much as we have to make sacrifices, we do get the thrill out of it and we get what our sport gives back to us. So it is worth it.
You talk about sacrifices and balance. What does a typical week of Abbey look like?
For me, it's pretty much, I train 6 days a week. So either mornings or evenings, and between that it is, I guess for me, training a lot of the time is time spent travelling as well. I usually drive about an hour and a half to training each day. So it is, yeah, again, a time consuming thing getting to and from. But yeah, it's going to and from training, and between that it's just studying. So yeah, it's full on, but I do love it.
Really, really full on. Sorry, Nana, really, really full on. So I imagine there's a lot of fatigue and, stress and things that you have to deal with. What about mental health and things that you do to look after yourself and that wellness side of it?
Yeah, it can be tricky. For me, a lot of the time is I just quite often just find that I need to start saying no to things and I need to rest and recover. If it's simply just going home and having a nap.
Well, thanks for saying yes to us.
Always. But yeah, I think it's just prioritising your health as well for me is such a big thing and being able to prioritise what's important at the time and what's not. And yeah, for me,
what do you do to kind of tune out and debug and de-stress? What's your alone time look like?
I think for me would just be honestly sitting at home and putting on a TV show or sitting at home reading a book. It can be really hard sometimes trying to say no to things and be like, oh, should I be doing this or that? But yeah, it's very much just chilling out and doing nothing. And I do find that once you do that, you're refreshed and yeah, you're ready to go for whatever's next.
Abbey, I've seen you do many laps around the track. The question everyone wants to know, 8s or 15s, and then when you are around the track, do you like to lead or sit?
Well, the 8:15 question is a tricky one. I wish I could answer that even for myself. I'm not quite sure. I do love them both just as much as each other. And I think I'm kind of still finding the path because while I've got the opportunity to do both, I will be, just because I love them so much. And yeah, so I think it's always been 1500 as of recently until now. But yeah, the 800s certainly do mean just as much to me.
And being in so many teams in such a period of time, have you worked out the process of debunking after a competition and then getting back to set your goals on something else so quickly with so many sports and team events around the world?
Yeah, it's definitely still a new area for me, trying to understand how to go through the highs and lows of championships and, yeah, coming off major championships and dealing with those emotions and what's next and where am I going to head to and how am I going to sort out myself from here. It's all very new, and I think it's with each experience I'm learning and just trying to, I guess, teach myself along the way. But yeah, I think it's exciting at the same time, and I love the thrill of the dynamic lifestyle of an athlete purely for that, because we've come off these championships and you kind of reset a bit, and the mystery is really nice.
And you're still so young, and for someone so young, you've achieved so much. So I'm keen to understand, what does the next 5-10 years look like for Abbey, and what are your future goals and aspirations?
Yeah, it's exciting. I'm really looking forward to the next 10 years, let's say, hopefully where my career takes me. But yeah, I think the short term, I'm definitely looking at World Championships later this year in Hungary. And yeah, onto that, we go into another Olympic year into Paris next year. So for me, that's certainly the main goals soon. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is keep enjoying it whilst trying to tick off those boxes of the success to put on my resume.
Beautiful, beautiful. And every 4-year-old, 5-year-old sit down at home and they have a future dream and goal and aspiration. What was yours?
Mine was always to represent Australia. And as I said earlier, after making that World Junior team, it really made me really hungry to want more. So yeah, that's, I guess, my goals for the next 10 years is making those Olympic teams.
Abbey, when you cross the line, you puff, the lactic kicks in, what's your go-to food of choice? Is there a treat that you're immediately looking for straight after a race? Before the cool down, of course.
Yeah. I don't think I would necessarily say a treat. I think it's just been engraved in my head that an energize up and go, just to get protein straight in me. And I can probably shout out to the dietitians for that, for engraving that in my head, because that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Good on you. Now I have to ask you, biggest fear. What's the thing that scares you most?
Ooh.
It doesn't have to be sport related.
No. Honestly, the depths of the ocean.
Ooh.
And your proudest moment?
Definitely Commonwealth Games bronze.
Good on you, good on you. We are running out of time, but we usually end these sessions with some trivia. So Nana knows what you do and don't know, so hopefully she's got some curly, tricky ones in the mix for you.
I've got some trivia questions for you, Abbey. My first one is, what sport do the Chicago Cubs play?
Ooh, I'm going to go with baseball. That's a stab in the dark.
You were the first athlete to get a question right today. Well done. Bang on.
We'll pretend I knew it.
Let's go for 2 for 2. The next one is, which Formula One driver has won the most races?
Ooh, I feel like I should know this. I'm just going to go with Daniel Ricciardo.
No, it's actually Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, I should have known that.
No, but you've got one,
There we go
one
now.
out of 2. I'm happy with that.
I'll take it. It's better than none.
And although that's meant to be the end, I'm really keen to ask you who is your role model and sporting superstar you look up to?
I'd definitely go for Ash Barty. Always been a big influence.
Were you at the tennis this year?
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful event. Well, we have run out of time, but I wanted to thank you, Abbey, for joining Nana and I in studio today. We've had an absolute blast. Congratulations on everything you've achieved and good luck for the next part of your journey.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you having me on.
And Nana, thank you for bringing another friend to the studio.
No, thank you. I've seen firsthand how amazing Abbey is on the track, and I'm so excited to cheer her on at the World Cross Country Champs and in the future leading into the Olympics.
Thanks, guys.
We might have to get you back, Abbey, to interview Nana so we can find out a little bit more about her.
No, I'm on this side of the table.
Well, folks, that concludes this episode of For the Glory. Be sure to tune in next time as we continue to discuss and share stories from the professional athlete world. Until next time, thank you.